The Fillmore Central Falcons won in come from behind fashion in the sectional semifinals on Saturday as they knocked off Goodhue, and head coach Chris Mensink joining us. And coach, you talked about quite often the depth of this section and the fact that Goodhue wasn't your typical number 4 seed. They certainly proved that on Saturday, but ultimately your kids got it done in the end. How did you get it done, especially in that second half?
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, Goodhue, what a formidable 4 seed. There probably isn't a better one in the state, and we knew that going in. Coach Bonslet and his staff doing an amazing job, and his kids always. There's no give up in any Goodhue team we've ever played. So we've had quite a history with them, so we knew exactly what was coming to town there. But like I said, the first half we deferred and they got the ball, came down and scored. I think in a long drive, took 8 minutes off the clock. So that was the prescription. Keep the ball away from our offense. And when our offense did get it, we moved the ball. We had no problem moving the ball, but turnovers really were our Achilles heel that first half, and something this team hasn't done this season. So I think we had 3 turnovers in the first half, an interception and a couple fumbles, which is uncharacteristic. So we just told our kids at halftime, we've been stopping ourselves. We can't stop ourselves. We got to continue to execute. We had the ball coming out of the second half, and the kids really did a nice job of keeping their poise and having that next play mentality.
You had a few games this year where you did have to battle, of course, that overtime game against Bethlehem Academy, the Rushford-Peterson game. That was probably more weather than anything, but you had to battle to get the result. The first matchup against Kenyon Wanamingo. Knowing the fact you went through a few of those battles in the regular season, did that kind of help weather the storm when you were trailing on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. This is something that, we hadn't experienced a lot the last couple of years. So to have some of those experiences and work through those things, you could tell our kids you could see the nerves come up just a little bit, but their body language, and they were able to turn that around and really stay focused on the task at hand. So yeah, having that experience and going through that, I think that's valuable as the season went on. And in section 1, you're always battle tested, right? This is a tough section. We've always told our kids, if you can get out of section 1, you're gonna have a chance at the state level.
And overall, what was the message going into that fourth quarter? You were still trailing at that point, 17-14, but you outscored Goodhue 10-0 in that fourth quarter. Was it a similar message that you gave the kids at halftime?
Yeah, it was. I think our defense really rose to the occasion as well. Goodhue has had a lot of success running the football, and we were able to take that away, kept them under 100 yards as a team. And on that, I don't think anybody's done that to Goodhue yet this year. And to force them to put the ball up in the air, and if we can force some incompletions, right, that stopped the clock a little bit and gave us some more time to get those stops and get our offense on the field. So I think it's a very similar in the team we're going to face in the section finals. Kenyon Wanamingo wants to run the football. They're 90%. We just 90% run, and we faced them here not so long ago. So definitely that's going to be their game plan as well. So to watch our kids execute that second half, that was exciting.
And looking at defense, it was a lot of kids stepping up. You had at least 5 kids with 7 tackles. Seemingly, it was just looking at the stat sheet, it was a collective effort defensively. Is that fair to say?
Very fair to say. Yeah, when they had a lot of yards on that little bubble pass, and we made some adjustments at half on that. And I think the second half that went a lot better for our football team, and carrying out your own individual assignments. So I think our kids are formulating that trust and building. They have trust in each other, and if the play doesn't come their way, they're disciplined enough to stay home in case for those counters and reverses, which Goodhue had a lot of those in their playbook. And when it did come to them, I think our kids were able to make the play, and that trust in one another is huge.
And for the second time in just over a couple of weeks, get to face Kenyon Wanamingo, this one for a state tournament trip on the line. What do you take from matchup number 1 as you prepare for matchup number 2?
Right. Both of it is fresh in our mind, right? It was week number 8. It wasn't that long ago. So at this point of the game, there's not a lot that's probably going to change. There might be a few schematic things and maybe a couple little tweaks. But I think that's going to be an important film to look at how that game went. We went up 21-0, but they did have some success moving the ball on the ground. They got a lot of size up front, and obviously their quarterback being 230 pounds, he carries the load for him on offense. So it's going to be a very similar battle like Goodhue, right? They're going to try to run the ball, and we're going to have to be up to that challenge.
And seemingly they got some explosive plays, especially from Dylan Bartle, 13.8 yards a carry. Yeah, they ran the ball for 5.5 yards a carry against you the first time. Is it a case of just trying to limit explosive plays, just slowing down the overall running game? What's going to be your strategy come Friday night?
Yeah, I don't know that they had a lot of explosive plays.
Okay.
I think it's just it was very methodical.
Okay.
Moving the chains two and three plays at a time, and so yeah, we've got to win on first and second down first and foremost to get them into those third and long situations. If they get into second and short and third and short, that's tough to stop because they're having their way with you a little bit. So yeah, we've got to be really good on first and second down. We've got to not turn the ball over. Those two things are going to be key for us this Friday.
All right, Coach. Hopefully we can chat again next week and talk about your second straight state tournament appearance. Keep your guys healthy. Ought to be a fun one in Rochester Friday night. We wish best of luck.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate that.
Chris Mensink, head coach of the Fillmore Central Falcons. It's Fillmore Central and Kenyon Wanamingo at RCTC Friday night.